Greetings everyone, Spartan here, coach of the Ontario Meloetta. Welcome to YCL Season 9. This is going to be my review of my season. Pretty much to go over some stuff that happened this season. It's my overall thoughts. Just hear me out. So this season, I'll be honest, I'm pissed. I am legit pissed off. I am annoyed. I am frustrated about this season. Not because of the games, except for like 2 games. The one getting 6-0'd in my last game on week 8. It's not those. It's not that. It's how I ended this season. So if you remember from season 7, I ended off my season with a 4-win, 5-loss record with a +1 in differential. Season 8 happened, and my record was still 4-5, just with a 0 differential. This season, for the 3rd time in a row, for some reason I managed to get a 4-5 record again, but with a much worse differential. I'm pissed. Why am I getting this record again? Like, I'm astounded how I got this record again. And it's just, I'm genuinely frustrated that I'm getting this consistent on my time here at YCL. Is that I'm getting a 4-5 record back to back to back. I don't know what to say. It's a miracle. It's a goddamn miracle. Anyway, regarding about the season, other than that, it was okay. It wasn't too bad. Like I said, there were only 2 games that I was truly frustrated at. And I think overall my team was pretty good-ish. Some highlighters of like certain Pokemon that really did well this season. First up is of course Great Tusk. Hey, shout outs to Abomination. He suggested Great Tusk for me, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. I actually like Great Tusk. The only problem I do have about it is that it can't take any special attacks. Unless if it's like AV or fully special defensive or something along the line of that. But other than that, pretty good. Very offensive kind of Mon. They can able to attack and dish out damage. Surprisingly enough, it was like my highest my highest kill leader, I guess. So that's pretty cool. I would draft Great Tusk again if I had the chance. Great Tusk was pretty cool. Slowking was also fantastic. I love Slowking, and I think they Game Freak did a good job with Slowking this season. I mean, not this season, but this generation, with it not only having Scald again, but also the fact that it has a pivoted move in Chilly Reception, allowing it to set up Snow. It was just generally good. Didn't really pick up any kills or that many kills, but it tanks so many hits so well. There were some that I was very concerned that it may not have survived, but it did. And I was mostly building it especially defensive because I had Mandibuzz, which I'll talk in a sec. And it just did well. And I am generally glad I was able to draft Slowking, and I would love to draft Slowking again. It's a good mon. It's a good mon. Would I prefer this the Jotonian Slowking over the Galarian. I probably would still think Galarian is still better, but you gotta respect the OG Slowking. Mandibuzz, honestly, it just is about the same thing. It didn't pick up any kills or barely any kills, and yet it tank hits like a boss. I am so glad I drafted Mandibuzz. I was like, okay, I need something that can be able to tank like all these dark types and just dish out like neutral damage with foul play while also providing like stats movelets like Toxic, and then I get momentum with U-turn. And this is one of the only few Pokemon that can actually learn Defog. One of the only few flying type Pokemon that can learn Defog. And I'm so glad I drafted it. I think it did good. Do I think it could have been better? Yes, but I am so glad I was able to draft Mandibuzz. Beartic. Beartic. This mon I have grown to love. I love Beartic. This is a really cool mon. Like, I was able to get like a couple of sweeps with it because it was like, it's good. Once you get it going, it goes. And not only that, if you get rid of its overall neutral typing of ice and give it something else, like what I did with both ground and water, it can actually tank hits. It can actually do something. And it's not like one of those ice type fodders. It was generally good. Now, I do say that I think that Beartic, I wish Beartic was a little bit faster. Probably like maybe the same speed, par speed with Alolan Sandslash, but that's better to be choosers. I think that what lacked in speed, it had provided in both damage and bulk with the access of terrestrialization. So I'm glad I drafted Beartic. And Klefki, I'll have to say it. Klefki actually did good. I normally have never been a big fan of Klefki. The last few times I did use it, I did this almost the same thing as I did this season, where I kept it as both. It's the only Steel type and Fairy type, which yeah, I don't know. I think it's still good. I'm glad I was able to use Klefki here. Both as a screen setter, a spikes lead, even a potential sweeper of its own, which I think was pretty cool. Now I'll talk about Pokemon that I wasn't disappointed, but I know it could have done better. Hydrapple, for example. Hydrapple actually surprised me. I think Hydrapple is good. Is it worth 11 points? No, I don't think so. Maybe 10. No, I think 10 is like the sweet spot for Hydrapple. I think it's good. I think with the Regenerator, it is a very good mon. I think it does pair well with Slowking as a Regenerator core. If I had a third Regenerator, it would have been even better, but beggars can be choosers. The only problem I had about Hydrapple was that it was hard to use. It wasn't easy to use, it was just pretty difficult. And I feel like I know I could have done better with Hydrapple, but it is what it is. Would I draft it again? Yeah, I would. But right now, I think Hydrapple, after fully trying to use it, I will say that it is a passable Pokemon that is worth being at like a level where it should have been with like all the other Pokemon that have like this like third evolution compared to like the other two evolutions that Applin has, which are Appleton and Flapple. Even though I am a huge fan of Appleton, and I think I prefer Appleton over Hydrapple, Hydrapple is still a great mon. Volcarona, I'm gonna be real, Volcarona did not feel like it was able to pick up. I think that if I had better speed distribution, or something that can really provide the support Volcarona needs, I think it would have done better. Because I love Volcarona. I am a huge Volcarona stan. I think it with the right team, Volcarona can sweep games, tank hits, do all these cool stuff. But this time around, it wasn't easy. It was actually pretty hard, and I hope that if I ever draft Volcarona again, maybe I could build a little bit better. If I had a different fire type, I was thinking about Iron Moth or Hisuian Arcanine over Volcarona, but I was like, nah, we're close to the end of the season. I don't want to make too many changes. I'd rather stick with what I have. So, yeah, I stuck with Volcarona through and through. So, yeah, it did alright. Cicino. This is one of those Pokemon that I'm like, it's cool that I drafted it, but I don't know if it was worth using it. Oh my god. Like, how can you miss so many moves that made a big difference? It's like, if you use Cicino, you either land your hits in dealing so much amount of damage, or you miss and lose. I don't know. I'm just a little bit disappointed in Cicino. I know it could do work, and I think it's great. It's a really good mon. I think it's a great mon. If it had Terra, I would probably have this as a Terra captain. But c'est la vie. Tidy Up was actually pretty cool. I think, which week was it? It was week 4 or 5. I brought in one that Encore said with the Tidy Up and whatnot, and the fact that I was able to pull it off, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I still like Cicino. Would I draft it again? I don't know. If I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit, maybe. But otherwise, if I just need a general normal type, I probably might not have picked Cicino. In fact, if I was able to draft Raikou, I would have replaced Cicino for what was that Pokemon? Snorlax. Yeah, that's the mon. That's the mon I'm thinking about. So yeah, I give it a pass. It's okay. So now let's talk about Pokemon that either I was super disappointed in, or I didn't use much and I wish I had used it more. Ariados, for example, I did not get a chance to use it. I wanted to use it on my last week, but unfortunately my opponent, Pokebaldi, forfeited his game, and so I wasn't able to bring in. Because I was thinking about bringing like a pretty cool set. There was even one week that when I think it was week 7, I wanted to bring in like a what was it? A Power Herb Dig Ariados for lead Grafaiai. That would have been cool, but nah, it's okay. I would definitely use it again because I love Ariados. I used it before, and it is a pretty decent mon. Like, despite having very bad stats, it actually can put in work if it needs to. I'm not gonna harp over on Ariados since I didn't really get a chance to use it this season. Like around Midnight, for example, I feel like I used it, but I didn't utilize it well enough. I think that if I had a second chance, I would like to use Like a Rock Midnight again. I think with the acts of Nogar, I think Like a Rock Midnight can be good. It's just that I used Like a Rock Midnight rather poorly the last 2 games I used it. And I still am rather furious about that, especially last week's game. Like, I'm still butthurt about that. But yeah, so yeah, if I would get a chance, I would try to use it again. Mischievous, like I said, I only brought in 1 game, and despite being rather good for being a 2-pointer, I wish I utilized it more. I think the Terra types I gave it was pretty good. It was just that there were some matchups I just didn't like it in, and it's like, I don't think I need Mischievous, and then I end up not using it, and then it's just weird. But yeah, I would use it again. I actually would mind using Mischievous. Um, Last but not least, I want to talk about is Jolteon. Jolteon disappointed me a lot this season. There was only one week where it actually did something, but then there were other games where were like it either the matchup was bad or it just didn't perform well, if not at all. So yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Jolteon at the moment. It had something more to it. If it was a Terra Captain, I would like it even more, but without it, it's just when you remove some of the big tools that made Jolteon pretty good, it's hard for you to justify a reason to use it again. So out of all the Pokemon I drafted, unfortunately, Jolteon was the short end of the stick this season. And honorable mentions are since Trimeco and Glement. I didn't use them because like I mentioned, the Trimeco felt more like a Clef Key, but with Wish. I couldn't do my little special tech with like Paris Trap with it since it doesn't learn Paris Trap anymore, Paris Song anymore. And the Glimmet, I just wasn't feeling comfortable using it again, so I just never used it. But yeah, that's it for about like general Pokemon. In terms of the season, like I said, it just there were only 2 weeks that I just was very frustrated about. One of them was the week 6. Week 6, I knew I could have been able to. Well, I felt like I could have been able to win that game, but bad prep honestly led me to a big downfall in that game. And then week 8, poor play on me with using Lycanroc. Double crit on two of my Pokemon that I needed for late game for both Ursaluna and Latias, but unfortunately that wasn't the case, and then it just went all downhill from there, and I hated it. I did not like that game at all. Otherwise, season went alright. Like, sure, week 1 I could have done better, but I was more upset about Cincino than just the game because I felt like I could have won if not put the outcome of that game a lot better. If I did land that tail slap, week 2, honestly, it's just bad prep. Not just bad prep. It was just underestimating Terrapogos. And with that being said, like, I don't think Terrapogos should be allowed. But yeah. Week 3, I'm surprised I actually won that game. That game was rather tough, but I was able to pull through that week. Week 4, Supercell Slam. I beat the allegations. Week 5 was a very close game. I think my opponent played exceptionally well and made the outcome a lot closer than it should have been. I already mentioned about week 6 and week 8, and then week 7, Beartick, man. One well-placed Beartick. But yeah, overall the season was okay. Like I said, I am a little bit annoyed that I got a 4-5 record with a worse differential than last time, and I end up in terms of standings 10th throughout the season. I think if I can pull up the standings here, yeah, with the standings, it's like yeah. What? Wait. Why am I? We're tied. No, why am I 10th? I thought it was 9th. No. Or I thought it would be 9th, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm just generally frustrated that I ended up in the same record again. Nothing better and nothing worse. Well, a little bit worse because of a differential, but still. Yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed in that. Next season. Next season will be it. Not only will I be in playoffs, but I will break that record. I will not go into a season with into a playoffs with 4 or 5 differential. With a 4 or 5 record. No, I'm going to have a better record than that. Mark my words. I will draft better. I will prep better, and we'll go from there. We will go from there. Mark my words. I will do better next season. And if I don't know what to tell you. I'm probably cursed. I don't know. Oh man, that would be a stinker right there. Cursed. But yeah, that's it about the on my overall season. And yeah, I don't know what else to talk about other than maybe I'll save it in another video. Yeah, that's it for me with the overall breakdown of my team, the season. I just gotta do better. I just got to do better next time. That's it for me from here. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for the support. Shoutouts to my front office team members, Alejandro and Cherry, for helping me out this season. I know you guys were busy, but I do appreciate it. Help me out whenever you guys can. And shoutouts to Abomination for helping me out a little bit later in the season as well. I do appreciate it. I know we have a little bit more of a I feel like we have a rivalry, but I do appreciate it for the help. I really do. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me here. I'll see you when I get to see you guys again. Thank you everyone for the support, for supporting me throughout this season. Looking forward to hopefully doing better next season. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.